Hi guys, welcome back today. Sorry the video cut off, ran out of memory, but got it fixed for today. For the seasoning, all I used was the OBQ's garlic, put it on, seasoned it all up, made sure it's nice and evenly covered along the edges as well, and then used the cash cow on top of that. This morning, I'm going to go in, get the brisket. We've got our smoker up, it's running, have our DigiQ here. It's got our temperature set right at around 240. Goes 5 degrees either way, but locks in at 240. We've got a nice mix of pecan and cherry wood. I've got my heat-resistant silicone oven mitts. I've got my table here. We got our probes inside. We'll put the probes in the meat, everything. We'll let it go for several hours until it reaches an internal temp around 160. Last step I'm going to do this morning, just sprinkle a little extra rub on top from where it set overnight and the juices have come out, and then put a little bit of turbinado sugar on the outside, which burns at a higher temp, so at the temperatures we're cooking at, it won't burn, and it gives it just that little extra kick on the outside, just a nice little sweetness to mix everything up. You can see we've got a nice thin blue smoke coming out here. Perfect, exactly what we want. Our Royal Oak Chef Select briquettes will give us a nice even temp cook through the whole time. I like the briquettes. They burn even, they burn long. It's good to go. And I'm bringing the brisket straight out of the fridge out here because science showed the colder the meat, the more smoke it takes. The more you get that nice little smoke ring for appearance, and just more smoke flavor the meat can take up, because as the meat temperature rises, when it gets to about that 140, 150 degrees, that's where it stops taking on your smoke flavor. And that's when we wrap it at that time, because at that point we just want to finish cooking. So I'll be right back. I'm going to go get the brisket, and I'll be right back when we start. Alright, so we got a brisket out of the fridge. It's cold. Cooker's going. I'm going to take the lid off, put this on, insert the probe, shut it up, and not look at it for a couple hours. Alright everyone, so what you're seeing here is going to be a good lesson. This is things not to do. With it, you do not want to leave the lid off for this long. The DigiQ has a short chance, well, not a short chance, but a short time that you can have a lid off and put it back on, and it will help to keep it from like overshooting when it puts back on. However, when you have it like this, where it's off for so long, there's so much oxygen getting to the fire, it's going to overheat very quickly. I forgot to get some grill spray for the grates to keep things from sticking, so that's what I'm having to do right now, just wait. As soon as it comes out, I spray the grate, I spray my little probe so that it slides in easily. I also set up my pit temperature probe away from where the meat will be, so that it's actually reading the temperature of the pit and not near the cold meat, to keep an accurate temperature going. And so I'll replace the lid and we'll keep going. Okay, one other thing to do before is always make sure you spray your grates. Easier to clean up. Alright. Take our brisket, back side down. Set it right there. Gonna add our juice to our pan so that we'll get a little steam in action. And we'll take our probe and insert it right here into our thick part of our flat. Alright. Probably shouldn't put food from raw meat in my mouth. Now, I'm not the quickest at that, and because of that, as you can see, smoke kind of got up a little bit. So unfortunately, the smoke we got coming out now is not the kind of smoke you want coming out. You want that thin smoke you can barely see. So hopefully we've got our vents turned down enough and everything that this will die down pretty quickly and won't cause too much of a bad taste on our meat. So like I said, it's going now. We're going to hook up our food probe so we know the temp, and we'll come back in a couple hours. Okay, so our brisket's at 155 right now. You pull between 150 and 160. We want to make sure we eat, so we're going to pull it at 155, which is fine. So the reason we wrap is the meat tends to stall when it gets around this time, and most of it's from evaporative cooling, which is the liquid and the water and juices from the brisket evaporating and cooling, just like your sweat cools you off. So we're going to pull the brisket. We're going to use what they call the Texas crutch, which is some aluminum foil, and we're going to use 2 layers, heavy-duty Reynolds wrap. Roll both of them down. We'll set the brisket on it, wrap it up, and wrap it up in the second layer, and that should hold most of our juices in, and then it goes right back on the cooker, and put our temp probe back in it and take it up to about 205 or so. And then once we get up to about 205, we'll check for tenderness and with our thermopin and probe and go by touch from then on out. So I've got my silicone gloves. I'm going to be pulling it off here in a second, and then we're going to lay out our foil. I've got my silicone gloves. We're going to pull it off, wrap it up, and you'll get to see this video of us wrapping. Wiki, wiki, wiki. Delicious color, delicious bark. This is going to be a great brisket.
Is that it?
Yeah. Now, because I didn't trim the sides of my brisket down, this foil is a little, almost not wide enough. So this way I'm going to trim it. I'm going to flip the ends in, and then roll up the sides. So now our brisket's tightly wrapped in full. We're going to take and put it back on, put the thermometer back in, and let it ride. Okay, check the temperature. We've got good placement. It's reading about where it was before we put it in full, so we know we're close to the same spot we were at. Now we let our pit come back up to temp and keep cooking. We should be back in about hopefully 3 hours and ready to let it rest, and then we'll slice it up.
She's got my sister and I confused.
All right, guys, I'm back. Cooked the brisket. We brought it in. It's in its full. We're letting it rest. It's been resting for about an hour now. Getting ready to slice. We've got it here in this Coleman cooler. And as you can see, we've wrapped it in some towels. A couple towels, kind of made a faux Cambro here. That's kind of held it and helped it rest. So now we're going to pull it out. We're going to get ready and we're going to slice it. Everything worked really well. We pulled it at about 207 or 208. One side hadn't cooked quite as much as the other, so we had to twist it a little bit because of the temperature, but it's probing like butter and it's at the good temperature, so we're going to pull it out and we're going to slice it and see how it looks. You want to slice against the grain and you want to cube up the point. I'm probably going to take pictures, but I doubt I'll be able to video because I'm going to have my hands full with the brisket, and it's time to eat. So I'll kind of give a voiceover for those pictures and stuff on the video. So we'll check that out. But hope you all have enjoyed this brisket cook, and we'll let you know how it tastes. Thanks. Here, ladies and gentlemen, is the cooked Wagyu. We're getting ready to separate the point from the flat and slice it up. Hi, so here you see a bunch of our slices. We've got a nice thick smoke ring there. Of course, that doesn't change the flavor. It's just really pretty to look at. It's from where the smoke has interacted with the proteins that were left in the edge of the meat. You can see a bunch more examples here in this pile of slices that we got out of this big brisket. See the big juicy pieces of fat on it. It was dripping with juices. And the taste was amazing. Cash cow and cattle prod injection was on point. And speaking of point, here's some of our cubes. You can see them mashed up. They just melted in your mouth. They're like meat candy. So this was just wonderful to have and wonderful to eat. And I couldn't recommend this kind of brisket, at least once in your life. I mean, it's great. So here's our pan. You see your slices on one side, the meat cubes on the other side from the point. My family loved it. We had a great dinner. It sliced up nice. The slices just folded over your finger. The one side was a little bit overcooked and the other side was a little undercooked, but right in the middle was just perfect. And here you can see kind of our spread and our table, and everybody was ready to go and ready to eat. So hope you enjoyed this video. I'll be back with some more. Thanks for helping my channel out. Subscribe and like, please. Bye.